Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a sales and marketing coach and LinkedIn lead generation service provider. I work with health, life, and mindset coaches and online service-based business owners to help them get more sales, shift their time to the client-generating activities instead of just the busy work, and overcome that social media overwhelm. Let's get into the show. If you're ready to take on your next paying clients, I have good news. My free 4 Basics of Client Attraction and How to Stand Out class is live at haileyrowe.com/client-attraction. In the class, you're going to learn the top 2 traits I recommend for most coaches and entrepreneurs if they really want to turn this into a career. You're going to learn how you can build demand for your services and stop getting crickets on your posts. You're going to learn the sales roadmap I used to improve my sales conversion rate and help my clients do the same. And you're going to learn so much more. So go to haileyrowe.com/client-attraction and get your copy of the class today. So share your name though, because I don't want to mispronounce it.
And I know, and I call myself the Offer Coach on my Instagram. And I really love to look at how individuals, coaches, businesses can better market themselves through their human design. And it's been a big breakthrough for me, so I know it'll be for your audience as well.
Yeah. So first, tell me about what is human design? How did it start?
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the different types.
Human design is a mystical science/art that was kind of channeled by this guy. His name is Rowe. His name before that was like Ray Krakauer, but he had this kind of mystical experience, and a voice talked to him and was like, hey, there are a certain number of types of people, like energetic types, and they each have their own strategy which will help them live their best life. So he channeled all this wisdom into this framework called human design, and that's what we teach and learn and kind of use today. Yeah.
Cool. So let's do the different kinds and maybe give a debrief later. We'll talk about how we can apply that in business. But first, let's just go through the different kinds. Maybe people
so
identify, ooh, that sounds like me.
5 types in human design. There are the generators. So generators are about 37% of the population. There's manifesting generators, which is a variation of that, and they're about another 35%. Then we have projectors. Projectors are about 20%, 25%. The next most rare type is the manifester, and there's 10% of those people. And the rarest type of all is the reflector. There's only about 1 in 100 reflectors, and then I can explain how each type is different as well. Cool.
Yeah, let's go through each type.
Generators and manifesting generators are called energy types, and that's because in the 9-centered design of human design, there's one center called the sacral. And when that is defined, and I'll explain what defined and undefined mean, but when that is defined, you have a certain way of carrying your energy and behaving that's going to be optimal for you. So for this type of person, a generator or a manifesting generator, their best strategy is to respond to what is lighting them up, right? A big mistake generators often make, me being a manifesting generator, is we force ourselves to do things because we feel obligated to, because somebody told us, our business coach said do this or do that, but inside it's not really resonating and ringing true. And when we do that, we burn out our sacral motor. We don't really manifest and magnetize. So that is the energy types of generator and manifesting generator. The next type is projector. So a projector is one that has an undefined sacral and they have their throat defined. So with a projector, their strategy is all about getting invited in. And this is something I see so often, which is projectors try to use manifestor or generator type strategies where it's like, do all this stuff, make all this content, and they get burnt out. The strategy for projectors is to really be invited in for your gifts. And that's what would kind of, be best for a projector. The next type is manifester, and these are different than all the other types because for a manifester, their throat is defined by a motor center. I'll kind of get into this. And for a manifester, what works really, really well is when they initiate and inform. So for them, it's not about trying to like wait and see and, get a gut response. For them, it's like they know what they're here to do, they know what they're here to initiate. And for them, they're going to kind of change the game and they're not going to follow scripts. So for them, it's all about initiating and changing the way things are done. And then the reflector is a very rare type. It means they have no defined centers. And when you have no defined centers, you're being conditioned by everything, right? So for the for the reflector, what they, do best is when they wait a lunar cycle. So it's like they give themselves enough time to feel into a space, feel into an opportunity, and get conditioned by everything in there. Because for a reflector, they're very attuned to magnifying whatever is happening around them. So if they're in the right environment, they're going to magnify what is in that environment and it's going to be good. So for them, we want to give them time and space to really feel into decisions. So those are the 5 types. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what there's these different types, and for one of them, it's about being invited into something, like somebody else initiating it, and or them being like receiving the invite.
So it's called waiting to respond. And for the types that have a defined sacral, they do best when they don't try to go out and initiate things and make things happen, which often we're conditioned to like, go make it happen. But for the generator and the manifesting generator, especially, the best strategy is to see what you're responding to in the environment, let it light you up, and then go take action based on your authority, which we'll get into next, on what is going to be kind of the right direction for you.
Cool. Okay. And for the manifestors, just straight manifestors, not manifestors, they're the more kind of wants to go out and get after it.
So
and
for the manifestor,
initiate.
The manifestor is not about waiting and seeing what people are, what they're responding to. For the manifestor, it's all about like they have a certain genius frequency and they know exactly what they want to initiate in the world. Oftentimes for the manifestor, what they get stuck in is in like self-doubt or fear, or something comes up and they don't take that action that they're really like, hey, this is what I need to do. So for the manifestor, it's all about just taking that confident action.
Yeah. Okay. And then the reflector, you said that they're kind of their environment really impacts how they feel easily, perhaps.
For the reflector, it's you want to wait, like traditionally we say wait 28 days to make, a decision, or wait, the strategy is wait a lunar cycle. And, for that, it's really about giving them time to activate all the different little gates. We'll talk about gates too, but they have gates. So activating all of those is really important for them.
Okay. So let's shift into thinking about I have to say, just based on these descriptions, I think I'm a manifestor.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. I want to go create. So I want to go
do like your birth date and stuff and see what you are.
Oh, okay.
Let me just pull up my little genetic matrix thing, and then I will put it in, and we can actually see what type you are.
Cool. And it's funny when you're bringing that up. It's like I see my different clients in different ones of those. So what I do is customize their marketing strategy, and not everybody's going to be the one that's like, I want to be on podcasts and videos and do all these. And so it's to hear kind of the differences.
That's a big thing where I found, I was helping coaches with marketing, and I was like, I just feel like there's different types of people, and everybody's not going to want the same strategy. That's actually how I got into human design, because I was like, there needs to be like a system to help people get more individualized like help. And I found like for, like a projector, podcasts are great because, they're being seen, they're being invited in for their gifts, and they're not necessarily like trying to copy a generator's strategy, which could be to do this big launch or something like that, right? So yeah, there's different types. For like a
Mm-hmm.
manifester, they might do really great, like just running an ad and being like, hey, I'm showing you this new way to do things. Like sign up for my webinar, book a session with me. And that might be the best way for a manifester. So it's really about like sitting with the individual, seeing what their design is. Actually, let's look at your design. So I'll create a chart for you. And to do that, I need just your year of birth. So what year were you born?
Okay.
1993.
93.
The month? October, that's what?
October.
11? Yeah. Yeah. Wait, no, that's 10. My bad. 10. And then day. 18. Cool.
18.
And do you know the hour you were born?
I think it was like 10:30 a.m. or
Okay.
something.
Yeah, time is important with human design. The more accurate you know your time, the more accurate your kind of chart is going to be. What city were you born in?
Highland Park.
Where is that? Illinois. Okay, cool.
Illinois.
So it's found it. And Hailey Rowe. And let's see what we get. Exciting moment. Is this your first time you've had your chart done?
I've had somebody else do my chart, and it was more of an astrological. Okay. It wasn't a human design thing. It was more astrology. And I found that she was like, "Oh, it seems like you really have trouble making decisions." And I was like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
So I don't know if.
So you are.
I don't know
can
yet.
Show everybody your chart. I don't know if they can see it, but that's your chart. Yeah, so you are what's called a generator. So you're just, or I'm sorry, a pure manifesting generator. And this is really cool because you've got the same channel I do, which is the 2034. And this is like the channel all about like making things happen really quickly. So that's probably what you're feeling. When you know something, when you're lit up, you're like identifying it and you're like, I just want to go make this happen. So yeah, how does that feel for you? Yeah,
That's
and
accurate,
you also have like a lot of gates in your throat activated. And kind of what that means is it kind of makes sense that you're in marketing. You can help kind of other people sometimes find their voice. Most people, I think like 75% of people have their throat defined. And so what does definition mean, right? So we kind of talked about these centers. There's like different types, and your type depends on which centers are defined. But what does a defined center mean? A defined center is simply that you have a consistent energy in that kind of center. So if you have a defined throat, you're going to have a very consistent way of speaking. If you have a defined root center, you're going to have a consistent way of taking action or doing things. If you have a defined sacral, you're going to kind of have a defined, consistent energy in your sacral motor, right? So the next kind of big part of human design is the authority, right? So it's like, how do you make decisions best? And Hailey, you have a sacral authority, right? Because your sacral is defined and your emotional center is open. Most people have a defined emotional center, which means that if you're that square or that triangle on the right side of the chart as you look at it is colored in. And when you have a defined emotional center, you're going to give yourself time. It's called wait for clarity. So you want to give yourself time to make decisions. But you, on the other end, Hailey, you have a sacral authority, which means when your body is getting lit up about something, you want to go and take action on it. That's your decision-making tool. So the next big part is authority, and that is how we best make decisions. For emotional, it's you want to give yourself time to wait for clarity. For sacral, it's you want to like kind of listen to your body, see what's lighting you up, and go take action in that way. If you have a self-projected authority, then that means that your G center is defined, and none of the other centers are defined. Then you're gonna kind of want to maybe talk it out with different people and see how you feel. If you have an ego authority, that means your ego center is defined and none of the others are defined. Then it means that you're kind of going to go based on your will. So authority is a really, really important aspect of human design, because it tells us how we best make decisions. And that's like really powerful, especially when it comes to marketing, right? Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. So let's talk about the different types and what are examples of maybe marketing strategies that might work better for others compared to the other, each kind of marketing strategy.
So for manifestors, I don't want to say like there's going to be one type of marketing strategy for one type of like generator. That's not exactly what it is, but it's kind of like you're going to feel more aligned, more at ease with certain, types of marketing. So for example, I like, to use projectors. Projectors are really, really great when they're being invited into something versus when they're trying to like hard pitch or, make a sale or, close a sale. It's not going to work well for them. So things like podcasts, things like collaborations, things like, working with other people where they feel invited in and their gifts are being shared in a way that they feel really good. That kind of marketing strategy is going to work really well for them. For a manifestor, they're not going to want to wait around for other people. They're want to go and just do what's lit up about them. So for them, maybe it's, a strategy where they're just like running an ad that they're excited about would be great for them. Maybe they're just like, hey, I'm going to launch this new thing, ready or not, here I come. That's going to be a really good style of marketing for the manifestor. For the generator and the manifesting generator, which most of us are, you and I are, Hailey, what we really do well is when we kind of like give ourselves a little time to feel into the market, like see what's exciting, and then create and take action based on what is lighting us up. So if we're feeling like uninspired and we just want to chill out, oftentimes, what works well for me and other generators is to give ourselves like a day off and just like go and feel like excited about exploring a new idea. So for the generator, manifesting generator, that waiting to respond and seeing what's lighting them up is going to be a really, really good marketing strategy. And then for the reflector, it's kind of like, where do they feel the best in? Like, what space are they feeling really, really good about? And maybe for them, it takes longer. Maybe they don't commit to a strategy right away. And I'd say for reflectors, for every reflector listening, do not feel bad about needing a month to make a decision on a product or working with a coach or something like that. In terms of sales, right, it's kind of more about the authority. So I'm an emotional authority and I like to sell through email, right? So I like to have these like long kind of drawn out sales processes. There's like 3 meetings. I work with a smaller group of people and I don't try to close on the call because I am very much about giving time to make a decision. So I'll just say, here's the email. If you want to go forward, you know what to do. So that would work well for like an emotional authority. But let's say you're sacral. For sacral, sales might make sense where it's like about tapping into the body and seeing, are you feeling lit up about this? Like, let's go, let's make the decision right now. So yeah, that's kind of how marketing and sales and strategy kind of work for some of the types. Obviously, we didn't cover every single thing, but that's a few of the major ones. Yeah.
Love that. So let's say coach, and I work with different clients and I take different discovery calls and all of that. And let's say I'm on a discovery call and I'm trying to see what kind of decision person when it comes to human design. And I'm not going to do a chart reading on my calls because let's say you just don't do that. Okay. So to kind of understand who you're talking with and how to adapt your sales style based on, who you're on the phone with or who you're coaching.
Yeah, I think that's hard. I couldn't really say. Obviously, my specialty is human design and how to do human design to, help business owners and stuff like that. I'm sure there's like different methodologies and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm not like a psychologist or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think too, you can kind of pick up on it when somebody's saying, oh, you know, I need to think about it. I need to ask around. They might be who makes a decision based on, as you, not a human design type, but as you were saying, like called the
authority.
There was a thing you called, how they make decisions. And some people do it by asking around. Some people do it by what they feel in the body. Some people do it by what were some of the other ones?
Emotional authority, which is what most people are. So this is, you know, something you can think about. Half of the population has emotional authority. And for half of the population, just giving themselves a beat, giving themselves some time to make a decision is going to be best for them. So that's why I'm a big fan of not like hard closing on calls or like pressuring people to make a decision, because most people actually do need time to think about things and see if it feels good for them. Then I think about like 20 or 30% are sacral authority. So that's the next most popular. For the sacral, it's going to be all about feeling into the body. Are they feeling, you know, energetically body? You're a sacral authority. Are you feeling like your body is getting all excited, lit up about something? And in that moment, you kind of just want to like trust that your body, your gut is telling you the right direction, not your mind. And you want to go with that. So in the moment, for some people, it's going to be about like really just trusting their gut and being like, you know, my gut, my body's telling me, yes, this is a yes. My mind is saying all these things, but you want to help that kind of person follow their gut knowing. And because it's like evolutionarily, it's like our gut is older than our brain and our mind. So it knows a lot more than our mind can do, you know?
Yeah, very interesting. Okay. And so one thing I would say is, let's say somebody right now in their business is feeling misaligned or burnt out, or like don't know how to take the next step or something like that. Maybe just like a little bit stuck. They could either go through some questions they can ask themselves to help them get unstuck.
Yeah, I think, you know, what would be really helpful is there's many resources online where they can learn about their human design. If you go to Jovian, they do Jovian Archive. They have like a human design chart. If you literally type in like human design chart in Google, you'll find a bunch of websites that have your type, your strategy, your authority, and all that stuff. And I would say, you know, just start reading about your type, getting a little more knowledge. I think that is like one of the most helpful things, is just because I was coming from a place where I was really stuck in my business. Learning about my human design helped me a lot. So I would just say, you know, just start the journey and like learn a little bit about your human design. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. And what about, is there any places people can connect with you, learn about you?
So my Instagram is the offer coach, _offer_coach. And, you know, feel free. I'm actually doing a free 90-minute human design workshop at the end of January. So if you want to learn about your human design, and we'll go much more into detail with the types, the definitions. We didn't get to talk about definition, and how to kind of better market yourself and, you know, align and not be stuck in your business. That's what we'll be talking about in that 90-minute Zoom session. So you can send me a DM on Instagram and I'll get you the RSVP link for that. If that's over, you can just follow me on IG and join my email list, and there'll be more like that. So yeah.
Awesome. And is there anything else you want to share about human design?
I think
maybe didn't touch.
What I would love to share about human design is that there's so many ways to approach it. So find the person you resonate with. Maybe you don't resonate with me, but maybe, you know, I say don't give up on human design just because, you know, you don't resonate with one specific person. Give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if you feel that kind of like curiosity about it, explore multiple different types of human design guides and teachers and see which one you really land with. I think that's super, super critical for it to work for you. I see a lot of people, you know, they got introduced to about one person and they know like that person's style, and they either like it or they don't, and they make their judgment based on that. So give yourself options, give yourself some time to try out different guides. That's important. Yeah.
one of the things I do in my Inner Circle program is have guest speakers. And we had one specifically about money mindset and human design, and how human design can sometimes impact your money mindset. And so I think it's important to know that your human design maybe applies, you know, you're going to learn by learning this about yourself. You could probably see how it applies in different areas of your life where you've been stuck, what strategy you want to take and stuff like that. So I think this has been really helpful to provide an overview, but obviously we're just scratching the surface and people with you and all that. So thank you so much for coming on, and super fun.
See ya.
All right. Bye. Talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. And if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful, and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.